Okay, hello everyone. Okay, guys, so we'll be starting with the board exam strategy session for your grade 10. That is your upcoming next board exam. That is of science to be scheduled. That is to be held on 16th of March. I'm pretty sure that all of you are already aware of that. And I'm expecting that your previous exams are all went very good as such, right? And all of these strategy sessions and all of these analysis sessions which we are conducting for you are all helpful for you guys. Okay, so let's begin with our discussion for the next in the next 20-30 minutes, whatever we have. We'll be discussing in brief that what should be done in the upcoming sessions, or what should be done in the upcoming days as such, or what would be the best way in which you can optimize the upcoming days for your preparation of your next exam. Okay, let's begin our discussion with the timeline that what should be done on the 3 days that we have, that is on 13th of March, 14th of March, or 15th of March as such, right? So let's talk about today. Yes, definitely for today, let's say that something around like half a day is already over. So what I would suggest is that try to solve one sample paper at least as such, and then try to analyze that, yes, according to the sample paper that you have solved, how much marks were you able to get. And yes, if you were not able to score a good marks, or let's suppose that you were not able to solve all the questions, try to analyze the fact that what was the mistakes that you were making. Was there any concept that you were not aware of? Was there any mistake in the numericals that were present in the sample paper? If yes, try to understand that these are your weak points and you need to look into those particular things as such. Okay, so that is very important thing that is to be done on 13th of March. If you don't have any sample paper as such, or if you don't have the top 100 questions, I'll let you know about that part uh, in the next slide as such. So just give me a minute, we'll be moving on to that fact as well. Okay, talking about tomorrow, definitely you must go through the Merit Nation's top 100 questions. These are some of the selected questions which we have sorted out, which we have filtered out depending based on the trend of the questions which were asked in some of like previous 7 to 8 years. Okay, depending, it is also based on the fact that yes, these questions are asked, let's say, like in the different regions, like you're in the Delhi region of the CBSE, or probably in the All India region, or in the foreign board, or like the abroad region, right? So some of these trends have been taken into consideration, and we have prepared these top 100 questions for you. As these are very essential questions, and if you look at the previous past as well, you will see that there were good number of questions, not directly, if then in some indirect way, from these top 100 questions, even from your English or from your Hindi, they were definitely asked in the previous board exams as well, right? So that's the importance of these top 100 questions. Then again, revise the things, revise your concepts from here. Again, that after going through these top 100 questions, if you feel that yes, I do not understand, or I am not comfortable with any of the topics, then please revise those topics, because in these top 100 questions, definitely those concepts are covered which have very high probability to be asked in your 16th March examination. So definitely you must revise the things depending or according to your attempt, according to these top 100 questions that you will be solving as such. Okay, then again, if possible, try to solve one more sample paper and try to give your best in this one last sample paper that you will be solving on your own. Then again, on the final day, that is on the 15th of March, that the day before your examination, revise in brief. Do not take stress. You have studied a lot, and sleep early. That is a very key point for this. Sleep early, by that I mean that at least sleep by 10 p.m., not beyond that. Okay, try not to wake up early, or try not to revise up the things till late. I know that should not be done by any cause, right? Another thing that I'd like to emphasize over here is that while you are solving these sample papers in these 3 days as such, whatever you're having, try not to take the entire 3 hours time in solving one sample paper. Okay, try to take, like, you can say that 2 hours and 15 minutes. 2 hours and 15 minutes you are taking the time for solving the entire question paper when you are solving it at home by yourself, right? Because there is a different temperament that you will be having in the examination hall as compared to the temperament that you will be having at your home, at the comfort of your home, right? So what you need to do is that try to solve the entire sample paper with the proper steps and everything, just like you're sitting in an examination hall, and take the time duration of like not more than 2 hours and 15 minutes. As well as when you're solving the question papers in the board exam, when you're sitting in the examination hall on 16th of March, then please ensure that if it's a 3 hours paper, then you have to ensure that you are completing your paper by 2 hours and within 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, within 2 hours and 40 minutes, you are supposed to solve the entire paper, and the last 15 to 10-20 minutes you are supposed to revise each and every question that you have solved or that you have mentioned, that you have written in your examination, in your answer sheet, and see if you haven't made any particular mistake. That is a very key point as such. Key pass because of your we'll discuss about all of those things as well. So as of now, I believe all of you are comfortable. You are understanding that what is to be done in the next 3 days, means the starting from today. So that is on 13th, 14th, and the 15th of March. Let's move ahead and see that from where you can get the top 100 questions, which I had emphasized in the previous slide. And so you, for getting the top 100 questions, you are supposed to sign up over here. You will immediately, or probably within an hour or so, you will be getting the top 100 questions, not only for science but also for your upcoming examination, that is your maths as well as your social studies. Okay, fine. So moving ahead, as well as if you want to also solve the previous year papers, you can go through this particular link that is present over here in the slide, as well as you will be getting all of these links in the comment section in the YouTube as well as in the Facebook answer, so you can make use of that part as well. Okay, so moving on to the important topics from all these subjects, that is the 3 subjects of your science, that is the physics, chemistry, and biology. What are the important key points that you need to take care of in these 3 days as such? So I'll go chapter by chapter. Let's start from the first very important chapter, that is the light, reflection, and refraction. From this chapter, definitely numericals will be asked for sure. Numerical based on the mirror formula or the lens formula or the magnification. These are the 3 important things from which the numericals are definitely asked as such in your board examinations. Apart from that, Snell's law is another very important topic from which a numerical can be asked. So basically, if I talk about in a nutshell, that then these chapters from the physics, that is the light, or basically from this human eye as well, you will be getting some numericals. Not as many, definitely from the, if I talk about from the chemistry and the biology point, you won't get those many numericals as such as you will get from this physics portion over here. And out of that particular, those 5 chapters of physics, these 2, that is the human eye. Okay, you can see the human eye chapter over here, and your light, reflection, and the refraction. From these particular chapters, you'll be getting the numericals. Okay, moving on to the you can see that the important topics over here. One more thing I'd like to emphasize is that the numericals as well as the derivation of the mirror formula can also be asked, so you need to be thorough in that derivation as well as such. Okay, human eye and its defects. Yes, definitely. Myopia. What is the myopia? What is hypermetropia? What are the ways in which we can correct these defects? So you need to be in these types of the things. Big questions can be like 4-5 marks. Questions can be like in different parts. A question is asked based on the any particular defect, and correction, one small cause that on. So based on that particular defect, 5-mark or a 4-mark question which will be having like 2-3 parts as such can be asked definitely from this human eye, from this particular defect portion of this human eye. So you need to be very much comfortable with that part as well. Again, a simple theoretical conceptual question in which you have to explain the rainbow formation, or probably the sunrise, the advanced sunrise and the delayed sunrise, that the cause of that thing can also be asked. So you have to be comfortable with that part as well from these particular 2 chapters. Okay, moving on to the next chapter, that is Ohm's law. Again, important from this particular chapter, that is electricity. Simple numericals based on the combination of the resistance can be asked, and the only 2 concepts that you need to be thorough with, or you need to be very much comfortable with, is the series and the parallel combination of the resistances. The other part of this electricity chapter is the Ohm's law. So a simple, that is V is equals to IR, that simple formula can be used in while solving the numericals, as it has already been mentioned over here, as you can see. Okay, so moving on to the next portion over here, that is the magnetic effects of electric current. Yes, the function or the working of the AC generator or the DC motor can be asked. Yes, for sure. Yes, about the time management, I had already told you, Priyanshu. I'll discuss at the end of the session as well. Okay. And if I talk about the sources of energy chapter, from this chapter, there is a particular thing like characteristics of fuel. Okay. You can see that from this characteristics of fuel, definitely some theoretical questions can be asked, as well as what you can see is that a question based on the your calorific value can also be asked, right? Okay. So moving on to the next chapter, you can see that we have is your chemistry over here. Chemical reactions and equations. So from these particular chapters, that is chemical, like balancing the chemical equations or the types of the different reactions as such. So you need not go into the detail or the some of the for some of the reactions which are not present in your NCRT. For this, I would recommend that please stick to NCRT. Whatever reactions are present in your NCRT, please remember them and try to try to keep those things in your mind, and do not study anything apart from NCRT for this particular chapter as such. And similarly, it goes for your acids, bases, and the salt. That is the reactions of these acids and the bases with metal. So whatever reactions are present in your NCRT, only study those particular reactions, because we are not expecting, you cannot expect a question or any particular reaction beyond the ones which are present in your NCRT or probably your exemplar as such. Okay. Now talking about this chemicals from salt, common salt. So some small questions can definitely be asked from this particular topic, that is your chemicals from your common salt or your baking soda as such. And what is the function of baking soda? What is the chemical composition of this baking soda, bleaching powder, washing soda? These things can also be asked. Water of crystallization. This is also a very important topic as such from your board's point of view. Okay. So moving on to the next chapter, that is again the reactivity series. Okay, you can see that carbon and its compounds. So simple things again regarding nomenclature of the carbon and its compounds. You should be very much comfortable with that. What is calorific value? That is, yes, that is important. Calorific value means, I mean to say that that if you burn a particular fuel, then what amount of energy does it releases? Okay, that is in the form of the heat. So what is the amount of heat energy that you will obtain by, let's say, by burning 1 kilogram of the coal? So you need to have its calorific value, and accordingly you can get the heat asset. So questions based on energy, that is on burning of the particular fuel, what is the amount of energy that you are obtaining? Those things are basically asked in can be asked in that particular chapter of source of energy, or for that calorific value, the category of that particular fuel asset. Okay, Upkar and Reena, I believe you are getting my point. Okay, moving on to this particular thing, that is carbon and its compounds, formation of and properties of ethanol and ethanoic acid. So these are some of the things which you should be definitely comfortable with. Cleansing action of soap and detergent. This is a lengthy question can be asked from this particular cleansing action. You need to explain this concept of cleansing action of soap and detergent as such. So be very much comfortable with that, with the detailed solution of this particular concept of cleansing action of soap and detergent. Okay. Again, from the previous chapter, that is from your extraction of metals or refining of metals, you can see that some theoretical questions can again be asked regarding the extraction or the refining of the metals asset. And nothing beyond your NCRT can be asked from this metals and the non-metals chapter asset, right? Mendeleev's and the modern periodic table, you will have to remember this thing. No numerical assets can be expected from these particular chapters which you are observing right now in front of you in the screen. Okay, Mendeleev's. So you need to remember some of the trends in the modern periodic table. What were the basic how to remember the formula? See, we'll be sending you some short notes sort of thing which you can use in order to at the last days to remember the formulae or something like that. Although there are not many formulae as in grade 10, there are only specifically, there are only like few formulae in physics portion which are used in your for solving the numericals as such. Although there are no such big formulae in your biology as such. If I talk about the biology, yes, in chemistry you might get a good number of reactions. And talking about the reactions, I have already told you that you'll have to solve those reactions. You'll have to remember those reactions only which are present in your NCRT. Okay. Okay. Moving on to the next chapters, that is from your biology portion, life processes and control and coordination chapter. These are the two very important chapters from the biology portion. So you need to be very much comfortable from the biology. Again, I'm telling you that a good number of diagrams can be asked. Like I'll even show you the list of the important diagrams from the different chapter, from the different subjects that is your physics, chemistry, and biology at the end of the session. Okay, at the end of the slide, where you can list down that, okay, yes, I need to remember or I need to practice these particular diagrams. So just in case if you're not comfortable with, let's say, human heart and double circulation as such, so you need to understand that yes, the diagram associated with that can definitely be asked. The differences between the aerobic and the anaerobic respiration, another very important part which you need to see in this chemistry and in the biology portion. I'm telling you that uh, prepare your solution or prepare your answers in points. Otherwise you won't be able to remember the things, or otherwise you won't be able to take up, otherwise you won't be able to provide present your answers in a very good way, which basically the examiner would actually like. Okay, just a minute, Aditi, please scale graphs from physics. I mean, is there will be not so yes, the graphs based on like your Ohm's law, right? What is the Ohm's law? The graph for your V versus I graph. So those graphs can be definitely asked as such, right? V versus I graph, I believe you can recall that, right? Okay, so control and coordination. What about the practicals? I believe your practicals are already over, if I'm not wrong, right? The practicals are already over. If I'm talking about the 20 marks of the in that the examination is going to be of 80 marks, so the 20 marks practicals are already over, would already be over for you guys as such. Okay, okay, so another thing, the human for the control and the coordination, the human brain and its components, you can see that the important portion are the diagrams for the human brain. What are the different components? So again, for like the different components of the human brain, you need to prepare for at least, like, for every component you need to prepare a one or two statement or one or two functions of each and every component of the human brain with diagram over here. Reflex action, what is the reflex action? You need to be thorough with that as well. Human endocrine is again an important chapter, or again an important topic from this particular chapter called control and coordination. From which chapters numericals can come? I told you that from the numericals portion, physics is the one from which the numericals can definitely be asked. The chapters are your light ray and the light chapter. From the human eye chapter, the myopia, hypermetropia, the defects of the eye. From that topic, the numericals can be asked. Or you can see that from the current electricity chapter, the questions associated with the resistances, the numericals based on the combination of the resistances or your Ohm's law can be asked as such. So you need to be thorough with those particular concepts for solving the numericals. Okay, how do organisms see? Again, this is another very important chapter, the modes of asexual reproduction, or moving back to the biology portion over here. Yes, I told you about that, Harshit. Okay, so yeah, so human reproductive system. So again, for the human reproductive system, the male and the female, the diagrams for that particular reproductive system are essentially to be prepared as such before an examination. What is the fertilization and the embryo methods over here? Or you can see the modes of the asexual reproduction or the contraceptive and its significance and its methods. So theoretical questions again over here, you need to prepare them point by point. Okay, that's very important over here. If it is a 2 marks question, mention 2 points over there for the answer. If it's like a 3 marks question, mention at least 3 points for that particular answer as such. It's not only about for this particular topic, for any particular theoretical question as such. Okay, then heredity and evolution, again, and not that important as such as were the previous 2 chapters. That is your the previous 2 chapters that you can see, that is life process and the control and the coordination. But yes, these are also important as such. Sex determination and humans, again, small questions can be asked from this particular chapter, that is your heredity and evolution. And speciation and its mechanisms, a lengthy question can be asked. So prepare well in a detailed manner, just prepare a solution or prepare the concept of speciation and its mechanisms. Evidences of evolution, again a theoretical question as such over here. Talking about the last 2 questions, the last 2 chapters over here, that is the our environment, a simple, very simple chapters over here. You can see that is like this, just like you had sources of energy in the physics portion, you are having like management of natural resources, something very common which you need not devote much time on these particular chapters. You can easily get, or you can easily prepare these particular chapters in like 1 or 2 hours of preparation, not more than that. Okay, you just need to go through the NCERT, probably some of your short notes if you have prepared, and these chapters are very easy to do not skip any question which are asked from these particular chapters as such. I believe you're all getting my point as such. Okay, So moving on to the important diagrams, you can see that there are good number of important diagrams from your biology as well as from your physics point of view. From your biology, definitely not many numericals, definitely, or probably very rarely there will be a situation when a numerical is asked from your biology portion. But yes, definitely a question, a lengthy question, a big question from which involves the diagram of anything like the human alimentary canal, or structure of the human heart, or the structure of a nephron, or structure of a human brain, as I had told you in the previous slides, or probably the fertilization process in the flowers, or you can say that your human male and the female reproductive systems. So these are the important diagrams which you must definitely prepare well, with proper labeling and the proper you can say like 4 or 5 statements or 4 or 5 points corresponding to each and every diagram as such. Okay, moving on to the physics portion over here, the ray diagrams associated with your spherical mirrors. So there are some special cases which you can see in your convex mirrors, as well as in your in the case of the mirrors, in the case of spherical mirrors, or in the case of your spherical lenses. So some special cases that when can you obtain like a virtual image from a convex mirror or something like that, right? So please very well prepare for those special cases of the ray diagrams in the cases of your spherical mirrors as well as your lenses. Okay, the sign convention rule that we follow in the ray diagrams of the spherical mirrors or the lenses should also be remembered, and that will be used when you're solving the numericals based on this light chapter asset. Again, you can see that the second point over here that we have is the ray diagrams for the correction of eye defects. As I had told you previously, some question, a particular question based on the human eye defect will definitely be asked. It can either be in the form of like a figure or a diagram over here, or in the form of some numerical. So you must definitely study this particular chapter for this particular topic, especially from the human eye, that is the defects over here. AC generator and DC motor, the functioning, the basic diagram for the AC generator and the DC motor can definitely be asked, and the simple diagrams associated with your biogas plant or the solar cooker. These are some of the simple diagrams in which as such numericals will not be asked, but yes, some theoretical, some point by point, the functioning of these plants or this particular solar cooker can be asked with your diagram. Moving on to the chemistry portion, very less there are very less scope of the diagram, that is only of your electrolysis of water, or for your Lewis dot structures can be asked as such. Okay, so at the end, I would like to again re-emphasize on the fact, if I just go back to the slides as such, some of you might have joined a bit late. Let me just re-emphasize that for today, at least solve one paper so that, and get rid of all the previous examination, whatever you had previously. Like probably you had English on yesterday, right, 12th, and previously you also had Hindi. So remove all of those particular language chapters, that is subjects, that is Hindi and English, from your brain, and only focus on your science, that is physics, chemistry, and biology that you have. And for today, solve one sample paper, sit for like 2 hours and 15 minutes, try to solve all the questions for one particular sample paper, whatever you have. If you don't have, you can we can provide you some sample papers. I'll tell you about that all over again. Revise the things depending on your score, whatever was your score in that sample paper, or whatever, or however you had actually performed in the sample paper. Depending on that, please revise the concepts all over again. And while you are revising, make sure that whatever key topics that I had mentioned in the slides throughout in this particular previous 15-20 minutes, you are definitely revising those particular key concepts as well. Okay, apart from the questions that you were not able to solve in the sample papers, or probably in the MN top 100 questions, if you are not able to solve any of the questions, if you are not comfortable with any of the questions, revise those concepts, revise those numericals as such. Okay, and that is what the strategy that you're going to follow in this 13th, 14th, or the 15th of the March as such. And probably if you this is from where you can get the top 100 questions which I have been emphasizing all throughout the session as such. Or for the previous year papers of CBSE, just go to this particular link, you will be getting the previous year's papers as well, the solved previous year papers as such. Okay, so guys, these are some of the important topics. I'll again show you some of the important diagrams which are very much essential for your board exams as such. And not many numericals can be, the very rare chance for the numericals from the magnetic effects of the current chapter as such. Okay, so guys, all the best for your science exam that is scheduled on 16th of March, and we'll be having many more strategy sessions and the analysis sessions for your upcoming exams of your science, mathematics, as well as for your social studies. So be connected with us, and we'll be helping you all throughout your board exams as such. Okay, so that's it, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the session. So take care and all the best for your all the exams that are coming. Okay, thank you, guys.